I have to say it's rather difficult to privatise something if you end up with one seat in the lower house and you've got one seat in the upper house. Extraordinary pull that you would seem to have if you could do such a thing. I did think it was funny though today. Our reporter in Victoria, Georgie Dickerson, was out on the ground at one of the pre-polls, and she went and spoke to the Liberal candidate, and she asked the Liberal candidate what he made of the potential rise of One Nation. Take a look at this.
Are you concerned about One Nation taking out this spot ahead of you?
I think what it shows...
What do you think about this debate? Is this about accountability or political priorities? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.
People are incredibly frustrated with the Labor government. They've been in power for 12 years. They had a member here, last term. We didn't see any love from the Labor government in the pen. So we really need to show people that it's about getting rid of the government and getting a Jess Wilson-led government going into November. People are mad, but the best thing they can do is put one next to Anthony Marsh so we get a Liberal government and see the back of Labor in November.
There you go, Pauline. The Liberals say that One Nation is rising because people are angry with the Allan government. It's got nothing to do with dissatisfaction with the Liberals.
No, it's not, and it's about time because the people are screaming out for change. They want to get rid of the Jacinta Allan government, and it's destroyed the whole state. So yes, they do. So the Libs have to realise, start working with us. I know the competition is between One Nation and the Liberal Party in winning that seat, but they've got to start working with One Nation and don't do your gutter politics and don't do misrepresentation of our policies, what we want to do, or just be upfront and honest with the people, which I've always been.
Well, obviously they're not not One Nation. The Liberals are not preferencing you, One Nation, at this by-election, but have there been any discussions between you and the Liberal Party about what might happen at the election in November from that perspective?
No, Caleb, I haven't even spoken to Jess Wilson. I've never even met her, so I don't know. She didn't indicate that they wouldn't be preferencing One Nation. Anyway, we'll see what happens closer to the time, and then if we get enough seats that we can actually work with the Libs to give them government and kick out the Labor Greens government down there, then so be it. And that's my aim, is to get rid of that Labor government that has done so much damage to the state, and that's what the people want. The people want change. They're being hammered into the ground. They want to leave the state. A lot of them can't. They have businesses and family living down there. And you've got escalating crime. You don't have enough police. You've got police stations that have shut. No policing to do it. Then you've got escalating land taxes. The farmers are getting invaded on their properties, put up transmission lines. And then you've got the state that's in a debt for $190 billion. It's really a real problem in Victoria.
Just want to talk quickly about Farrer, which of course will be next Saturday. So if you pick one up tomorrow, you'll be hoping to pick up another one federally next weekend, which would be the first seat that you've actually won in the lower house. Of course, you've got Barnaby Joyce, but he was a defection from the Nationals. Everything would seem to indicate at the moment that this is heading in your direction.
Caleb, we've still got another week of pre-polling. The election's not till the 9th of May. I don't count my chickens before they hatch. A lot can happen in a week. But people have warmed to David Farley. I think he's really representing the electorate, especially on the water issue. And we've called for a Royal Commission into the water issue. There's so much money that's been poured into it, the buyback scheme of $13 billion. You've got farmers that can't get water. You've got the environmental issue. That's a big problem down there as well. So it's a big farming area. And of course, Albury needs the hospital system as well. So it needs the hospital attended to and eventually possibly a new hospital. So these are important issues in the electorate, and that's what we're going to be looking at, focused on. And with David winning the seat, he can work with Barnaby in the lower house.
Indeed. Well, we'll be watching out for what happens tomorrow night. I'll be in Melbourne tomorrow night, so I'll be keeping a close eye on it, and we'll see what happens next weekend as well. Pauline Hanson, thank you for your time as always.
This wasn't just a routine interview. This was a clear political power move. Pauline Hanson basically sent a message: work with us, or get out of the way. When asked about One Nation's rise, she didn't hesitate. People are fed up. After 12 years of government, rising crime, heavy taxes, and a massive $190 billion debt, she framed it as total failure. This wasn't just criticism, it was positioning herself as the alternative. But the real moment came when she turned on the Liberals. She accused them of gutter politics and misrepresentation, a direct warning. Translation: if you actually want to remove this government, you can't do it without us. Here's the key contrast. Liberals say voters are just angry at Labour. Hanson says voters are angry at the entire system, including the Liberals. That's a big shift. Then come the pressure points. $190 billion in debt, rising crime, police shortages, farmers under strain, and her conclusion, the state has been destroyed. Strong words, but very calculated. This isn't just debate, it's election strategy in real time. Frustration plus fear plus alliance demand equals leverage. And the biggest takeaway, Hanson is positioning herself as a potential kingmaker. If one nation gains seats, they could decide who forms government. So now the real question is, will the Liberals put politics aside and form an alliance? Or split the vote and hand the advantage right back to the government? Drop a comment, should Liberals and One Nation team up or not? And this is where things get even more serious. Because Hanson isn't just talking about winning a seat. She's talking about shaping the entire outcome of the election. If One Nation secures even a handful of key seats, they could hold the balance of power, forcing the Liberals into a deal whether they like it or not. That's the leverage she's building right now. What makes this strategy powerful is how she's tapping directly into voter frustration, not just with one party, but with the whole political establishment. By calling out both Labour and the Liberals, she's positioning herself as the only voice saying what others won't. And in today's political climate, that kind of messaging spreads fast. But there's also a risk here. If the Liberals refuse to cooperate, the vote could split, weakening both sides and making it easier for the current government to stay in power. On the other hand, if they do form an alliance, it could completely reshape the political landscape overnight. Either way, Hanson has made one thing clear, she's not backing down, and she's ready to turn influence into power. And if that happens, this election won't just be about who wins, it'll be about who controls the outcome. Hanson is clearly betting that frustration turns into votes, and votes turn into leverage. If the Liberals still refuse to engage, they risk handing her even more influence. But if they align, it could flip the entire race overnight. One thing is certain, she's no longer on the sidelines. She's playing to decide the result. Fingers crossed. Pauline Hanson hoping.